All right, welcome in. Mooser at the box. Y'all smash the like button, get subscribed. LSU loses 6-2. They fall to the losers bracket. They were thoroughly outplayed, thoroughly outcoached in every single phase of the game by a better team. That's what happened tonight. That's it. That's it. North Carolina stars were better than your stars. They pitched it top to bottom better than you pitched it. They defended head and shoulders better than you defended, and they outcoached you throughout the game as well. That's really it. Like, for me, that's what it boils down to. We can go through game situations and whatnot, but the fact is you lost to the better team tonight, and that's it. Like, that's it. It is incredibly unfortunate. LSU had plenty of chances, and they just did not come through with those chances. I thought Luke Holman gave you everything you needed on the mound except for 2 pitches. And he shares blame for those 2 pitches, but so does Jay Johnson and so does Nate Yeske. There's plenty of blame to go around in that. At the end of the day, you were able to cut that to 3-2, but the better team won the baseball game tonight. And we talked about it all week that North Carolina is a really good baseball team. End of story. They are not here by accident. There was a lot of disrespect thrown their way, and I don't understand why. They got a first-round pick at the top of their lineup that's going to be a first-round, it's the best player, arguably the best player in the history of their program. They have an SEC transfer in the 3-hole. They have 2 stellar freshmen in Stevenson and Gallagher. And they have small school transfers that have adjusted to big-time baseball. They have the mix of young, veteran talent that you need to go far in this tournament. They're not here by accident. And LSU has a lot of those things too. But North Carolina executed way better than you in every phase of the game, including coaching. And that's why it's disappointing to see. Because LSU did have their chances tonight. It just didn't matter. Again, y'all smash the like button if you haven't already. Get subscribed. And let's run through it a little bit here if we could. So Luke Holman goes out there, is awesome early in the ball game, naturally, like he has been. 3 up, 3 down, strikeouts galore. He was great. You love honestly to see it. The issue on the other side is Shea Sprague was good. He pitched around a lot of trouble, a lot of traffic for LSU. The changeup was as advertised, and when he had the glove side fastball, both to left-handed and right-handed hitters, it made that changeup play even more. Was he this sharp, incredible number 2? No, but he's a really good pitcher, and he pitched really, really well. So you tip your hat to that guy. And again, yes, like LSU has opportunity. The first 2 innings, they put 2 guys on. Look at the second inning. The second inning is a microcosm of the game in a sense. Because Larson gets hit by a pitch, Milazzo singles, Jake Brown absolutely stings a ball up the middle. It gets snared by the second baseman, a great play. He flips, gets the force out. Brown beats it on the back half, but ump show at second base calls this phantom interference call that just didn't exist. And then when they go to replay, they not only uphold the call, they confirm the call, and I'm convinced solely to protect the shield and not have to overturn it because it was so damn reprehensible. I'm convinced of that. And I'm not an umpire conspiracy guy, not even in the least. But there is just, when you've got both broadcasters, when you've got everyone saying it's not interference, except for the douchebag that made the call, it's not interference. I guess actually it would be because he's the one whose opinion actually matters. But regardless, that was horrendous. But why that's a microcosm of the game is because Jake Brown absolutely hammered the baseball. You couldn't hit it any better And North Carolina made a better play, and they snared it, and they wiggle off the hook in that inning. LSU puts, another runner on in the third. You can't get anything out of that. All the while, though, Luke Holman is doing really well. And the third inning for him was a clutch spot where he pitches out of a 2-man on with 2-out situation, gets Parks Harbor to strike out swinging. The slider tonight from Luke Holman was very, very good. And when he mixed in that curve, it was also very, very good. So it's just, there's plenty of disappointment to go around. Let's go to the fifth inning because that's obviously where the disappointment starts. And this is where we have to have a conversation. Holman gets the first out. Actually, let's go to the top of the fifth inning because you want to talk about the game, a microcosm of the game. The top and the bottom of the fifth inning also is. You have the leadoff walk to Milazzo on 4 pitches. All of them arm side misses, high and away from Sprague. Looks like, okay, is he starting to lose it? The pitch count's getting up there. Is he getting fatigued? Obviously. Brown flies out to right field, hit the ball hard. It's caught. But then Braswell singles to left. You have runners at first and second. The lineup has been flipped. And even kind of tweeted out there that, okay, look, Holman got you out of that. It's up to Milazzo and Brown to do their job and flip the lineup for a third time to see Sprague. Ultimately, they did that. Like one of them reaching guaranteed you, barring a double play, that Tommy White would come up to the plate. Braswell stays out of the double play singles. Tommy White comes to the plate. They're not going to let Sprague face him a third time. Right move, 100% correct move. Ben Peterson comes in, and Tommy White hits into the double play. And here, we could talk about the first pitch thing with Tommy White. I will say this. It's who he is. I know that's not a satisfactory answer. I get it. Tommy White swings at the first pitch damn near every time. If I know that and you know that, they know that. And that's why first pitch breaking ball came. They knew he'd be hunting the fastball without first base open, even though there is a base open. It's not first base. They knew he'd be hunting the fastball. They went first pitch breaking ball. The problem is not Tommy's approach of swinging on the first pitch every time. The problem is Tommy couldn't center himself and recognize the pitch. He was geared up to swing regardless. They know that, and he rolls over a breaking ball. That's the issue. It's pitch recognition there for me, not anything else. Would you love to see him take a pitch from a guy he's not seen? Sure. But again, that's just not who he is. It's not who he's been his entire time at LSU, and I'd say his entire time at LSU has worked out pretty damn good. It didn't right there. North Carolina took advantage of his aggressiveness, and you tip your hat not only to their coaching staff for that, but for Ben Peterson for executing a great pitch. Tommy rolls over into the double play. That ends your threat. Now, you go to the bottom half, and it's just the complete reversal. After a flyout, Madera lays down an absolutely incredible bunt. Beautiful play. Tip your hat to that guy. Tommy made a great play to barehand it throw. Madera's really quick, and he laid down a great bunt. He caught you napping. Wilkerson doubles. And to show how great Luke Holman was up to this point, that is the first hit that left the infield for North Carolina. First one. They had 3 infield hits at that point. That flips the lineup for a third trip. Vance Honeycutt, the best player on this team that we highlighted at nauseum in the North Carolina preview, went through all his historical stats, him being the first 2020 guy in North Carolina history, him doing it multiple times, him being a projected first round draft pick, all of those things coming up. And to Luke Holman's credit, he had struck him out the first 2 times he faced him. Once swinging, once looking. Had him. First base is open. And I will hear an argument that they should have walked Vance Honeycutt. I will hear that argument. But my counter to that is, it's the third trip through the lineup, and you'd be walking the leadoff guy to load the bases for the 2-3 guys who also don't stink in a scoreless game. That's a really tough spot to be in. That's a really tough spot to be in. I will hear that argument. Here's what you can't do. You can't groove fastball right down the middle on the first pitch. Think back to the Tommy White at bat. They knew that. How come you don't? If you like that, to me, that has to be breaking ball. It has to be. He's looking to attack. He's looking to ambush. He's the best damn player on the team, and you threw fastball first pitch. And he did with it what he should have. He backlegged the hell out of it and hit it over 400 feet and gave them a 3-0 lead. And that is that's disappointing. Like, that to me is really, really bad pitch calling. To me, that's what that is. Especially when you see it play out the complete opposite way to your best hitter, literally the half inning prior. And I get it, all hitters aren't created equal. I get it. To me, that's a brutal miss. And I know Nate Yeskie didn't say, hey, Luke, fastball down the pipe. Luke didn't execute the pitch, and that stinks too. But up to the point, that was his first miss of the whole game. To me, you have to minimize the risk for that. And they didn't do that by calling fastball. So North Carolina's up 3-0. Credit Holman after that. He buckles in and keeps it at 3-0. And then in the 6th inning, after LSU went quietly, well, I shouldn't say quietly, they put 2 on with 2 outs. But, and again, another well-hit ball by Larson to right field. Just got under it a little bit, and it's caught. You go back out for the bottom of the 6th, and, Holman is nails. Strikes out 2 of the 3. No one got to a 2-ball count. He was awesome. He looked like he did the first half innings, and that was great. And LSU's offense responded in the 7th. Milazzo singles to lead off, and then Brown smokes another ball, and the shortstop makes a leaping catch. That poor kid got robbed twice tonight. And he wasn't the only LSU player that did, but, he got robbed twice tonight. But then Tommy White comes up, singles. That loads the bases, and Jared Jones, who has been phenomenal at the plate just with his at-bats, turned in a great one because they go and get Pence for Peterson. And I know it's easy to look at that and go, oh, UNC walked in 2 runs. They gifted LSU 2 runs. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. That was a great at-bat. A great at-bat from Jared Jones to get ahead 2-0. Pence works it back 2-2. And the bases are loaded, and he knows he's going to have to groove fastballs, and he just couldn't, he wasn't going to give in to Jared Jones. And you credit Jared Jones for being disciplined enough, not wanting to do too much in that moment, being disciplined enough and laying off the breaking ball, especially that last one. That was an incredible pitch designed to get a chase, and Jared recognized Jones all great, lovely. What was the conversation we had about Jared Jones all offseason leading in? The pitch recognition had to be better. You know what? I can tell the video just screwed up. Let me circle back and have this whole conversation over again. How about that? So it was a great at-bat from Jared Jones, specifically the takes that he had, specifically on that last breaking ball. That was a dynamite pitch. It was one designed to get the chase, and he recognized it and laid off and drew the walk. That's earning a bases loaded walk, not being gifted one. And it goes back to the conversation that we had for Jared Jones all throughout the preseason is the pitch recognition had to get better. And he still struck out a lot. I get it. Like, the strikeout number's still high, but he actually has cut it down, and the chase has come down too, and that at-bat was an example. So that was an A-plus professional at-bat from Jared Jones, and it got LSU on the board. You have Pence in there, who's a really tough lefty. They pinch hit for Josh Pearson, bring in Ethan Fry, and Ethan Fry turns in a very professional, very good at bat against the top reliever for North Carolina and did it cold off the bench. Very impressive. Gets ahead, 2-0. Ultimately, the count works back full, but he draws the walk, another disciplined take, and you're up 3-0. You're down 3-2, excuse me. Then Hayden Travinski comes up. And it's real easy to look at Travinski and say, he hit into a double play and that was terrible. And you know what? In a nutshell, yes. But what you also need to do, and I know this is hard in the moment, you have to credit Dalton Pence because he made a great pitch. This guy had just he had just come in and walked in 2 runs, and now he's staring down Travinski. Gets ahead, flips in a breaking ball. He's a predominantly fastball pitcher. Flips in a dynamite breaking ball to start the at-bat. Then goes fastball. Travinski fouls it off. And then Pence made the best pitch he made all night. It was a fastball, kind of like a sinker almost, just down in the zone. But it was, yes, the lack of execution. I'll watch the video again. Yeah, Dalton Pence in that moment. So you find yourself down 3-2, heading to the bottom half of the 7th. They go back to Luke Holman. Understood. Madera flies out. Wilkerson strikes out looking. And now you flip the lineup for a 4th time. And for me, letting Luke Holman pitch to Vance Honeycutt a 4th time is arguably the worst decision that Jay Johnson and his staff has made all year. All year. If he would have struck out Vance Honeycutt the prior at bat, fine. The kid teed off on you and hit it 400 and whatever feet. And now you're going to let him face him again in a 1-run ball game. I do not understand. Like, at all. I do not understand that. And this time, they started with breaking balls, which was frustrating. And they go to try to finish him off with one, and Holman hung it. But at that point, Luke Holman's at 100 and whatever pitches. And 100 and whatever pitches, and he's fatigued, and he hung the breaking ball. And the best hitter on the team did what he does. He hit it over the fence again. But when you had literally everyone available to you out of the bullpen in a 1-run ball game, everyone, name any of them, they were all ready. For Little, because he's out for the weekend. And you consciously made that choice, that's a miss. There's one guy. That's a very good lineup, top to bottom. There's one guy that you can't let beat you, and you let him beat you twice. And that just flat out cannot happen. That cannot happen. And it did. Whereas if you go to Lure, or you go to Guidry, or you go anyone available, to me, that can't happen. And I will be very critical of that decision. And that's where I'm at on that. I thought that was really, really, really poor. Stanley Reed, I understand what you're saying, and it only put him up 4-2. That's great. You let one guy drive in all 4 of those runs when you had no clutch hits. None. 0. Zilch. Goose egg. Clutch hits. 4-2 felt like 8-2. Not a conversation. And then the game got away from you late. I mean, whatever. Gave up 2 more in the 8th, and the game got away from you late, and you lost 6-2. You were outplayed by the better team. You were outplayed by the better team offensively. You were outplayed by the better team on the mound. You were outplayed by the better team in the field, and you were outcoached by a better coaching staff. That's what happened tonight, and you lost. Now, close the book. Turn the page. You will go and play Walford at 11 a.m. on Sunday, and that is not going to be any easy task. This LSU team has struggled in the 3rd game of a weekend. Yes, I would imagine that Nate Ackenhausen gets the ball. And you have just about everybody available. Everybody available out of the bullpen. Let's see. I think everyone except Holman, obviously tonight, can come back. Dutton threw 14 pitches. Lord threw 7. You've got everybody available if you want to try to make a run, but you got to win 3 games. I don't like your chances to do that. And here's the reason I don't like your chances to do that. LSU will pitch well enough. They will pitch well enough But think back to an earlier episode this week where we took listener questions. And one of the questions was asked, what's the one thing that can't happen and the one thing that must happen? I told you the one thing that can't happen is LSU's offense to disappear again. Because that was the whole genesis of why we thought this run might be sustainable when watching this team is, okay, they're hitting the ball now. And the pitching's been really good down the stretch. Now the offense is here. The offense has not been here in this regional. You won a game on 4 solo homers, and then you scored 2 runs. It just hasn't been there. Now, should Wofford have a lot of pitching left? Probably not, but you're going to see their number 2 because they ended up throwing. So you'll see Camden Wicker, and you'll be going bullpen day. I'm not going to sit there and tell you that Wofford has a pitching advantage, top to bottom, because I don't think that they do. But you also saw in 1 inning how well that offense can actually get going and how well it works when it is going. And you were lucky you had Gage Jump on the bump. You don't have Gage Jump this time around. It's a bullpen day. And I expect Wofford to have much more success offensively. So I'm not going to concede and say that LSU even makes it to Sunday night. That's going to be a really tough game. Wofford believes they had you on the ropes in the first one, and you snatched victory from the jaws of defeat, and they just got their first ever NCAA tournament win. They're feeling pretty good about themselves. They know they can play with you. That's going to be a really, really big game for LSU in the morning. That's a really, really big opportunity for LSU in the morning. And I'd imagine it'll be Ackenhausen, and you'll go from there. You have everybody available. But tonight you were just completely outplayed by the better team, and I thought they outcoached you too. So I'll say it again, set it off the top. They're not here by accident, y'all. Everyone wanted to look at this and say it was such a favorable draw for LSU, and the fact is it wasn't. That's a really good team in blue across from you. I mean, they won a good league. That's a Power 5 league. That's the second best league in the country, or Power 4, whatever the hell you want to call it. And they showed that tonight. So if you had a lineup that had consistency to it, I would say you have a shot. But even if you get to Monday, pitching is just going to be depleted at that point. It just will be. One overall thought on LSU's offense tonight. I thought there were some good moments. They just didn't have the clutch hit. And they got robbed a lot too. They made good contact. Like LSU hit the ball hard a lot of times, and it got caught or robbed, or it was right out of field or whatnot. But you lacked the clutch hit, and that's been a problem for them all year long. But you lacked that, and you just haven't had enough consistency offensively from LSU. So they'll play Wofford in the morning. See if they can get better. They're going to have to be better offensively. They haven't been good enough. And we'll have you covered here. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Get subscribed. Be here next time for more on Loose with the Box.